Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of some selections from Euripides, and currently I'm reading through the Alkestis, and we got up to line 1070. So this is after the long speech of Admetos, and now we're going to get a little word from the chorus, which splits up the two sections, and then some stigomythia between Herakles and Admetos. So the chorus says, Ego men uk ekoiman eulegain tukain, credi hostis e su carteren theou dosin. So now, echo, and it's in the optative here with an, often has the sense of to be able to, and it does this here, I think. So I would not be able to speak well of fate, so I wouldn't be able to say that fate is always treats us well. Crede, but it is necessary, hostis esu, whoever you are, carterain, to put up with, to endure, the dosin, this is a noun connected with dosis, of course, from didomi, to give, so the gift of the god. So it is necessary, whoever you are, to endure the gift of the god, to put up with the dosin, the gift of the god. Herakles now says, Ega tos auten dunam in ekon estisen, es phos parusai neateron ekdomaton, gunai kakai soitendi porsunai karin. But now we get agar. Agar can be used with the optative, meaning would that. Here it's being used with the indicative, perhaps in the sense of if only. But the fact that it's in the indicative probably is because Herakles actually has done this, but so we know it's a fact, but he hasn't admitted it. So the Greek puts it into the doesn't use the optative here, but uses the indicative here. So it probably is something like, if only I had such power, and now we get hosti plus infinitive, so that, so it takes an infinitive porusai here, aorist middle infinitive here, so as to go, sorry, well perhaps to, yeah, to go, no, sorry, to bring sane Gunaika, your wife, into the light from the nether houses, from the houses below. And another infinitive dependent on the hosti, to provide this favour for you, and to do you this favour. So would that I had such power so as to bring your wife from the houses below, and to do this favour for you. Savoida bulesthai dan, Hassan, alapu todi, ugestintus thanontas es vaos molein. For I know, this is Sappha, it's adverbial here, so I know clearly you would wish this. Alpu todi, but where, literally where is this? So something like, but where is this wish? So what good is this wish? Slightly idiomatic there. But now we get esti, note the accent here, it is not possible, molein, for those who have died, molein to come. This is the aorist from blosko. Emelon is the aorist form, and the root is mol from blosko. It's a poetic word. Es vaos, into the light. So it's not possible for those who have died to come into the light. Me non huperbal al enaisimos fere. So slightly idiomatic here again. So do not, now this is the enclitic nun, it's a weaker form of nun, you'll notice from the accent here. just generally translated as then. Do not then hyperbole. Well, it's something like go to excess, literally leap over something, hence to go to excess, to grieve beyond measure. But fere, imperative, bear, understand it. Enissimos, this is actually a Homeric word. It's the same as Attic metrios in a measured way. It's apparently only here in Euripides, and it's not very common in the other tragedians. So, but come, bear it in a measured way, bear your grief in a measured way. Raion, Admetos says, Raion parainan e pathon to carterain. It is easy, Raion, it is easier to give advice. So this is a comparative here. It is easier to give advice than, to be patient with, perhaps put up with, pathonta, the one who is suffering, literally who has suffered, from Pasco. And we get that carterio again, we have a few lines above. Tidan prokoptois e thelois ie stenein. Prokopto has that sense of to advance. It's a metaphor taken from soldiers clearing a road, hence this copt of cutting. So it's cutting down the undergrowth so that the army can proceed, was the original metaphor, I think. So it tends to mean progress. So why would you, what progress would you make if you wish always stenein, to grieve? So as usual, Greek does everything round the other way, so we would say if you wish to continually grieve, what progress would you make? Egnoka kautos kai eros tis es age. This is kai autos. I myself, have known this, so I myself realise this. But eros, very strong word for love, but probably passion here. Tis eros, some passion, es age, leads me away, draws me away. Tote philesai ton thanont age dacru. This is a funny expression here for love for the one who has died. The subject of the verb is this articular infinitive. So for the love for the one who has died leads to tears, literally brings a tear. Apolasen me, kati malon e lego. That is, love for the one who died, I think, apolasen, has destroyed me. Kati for kai eti, and still more than we would say I can say, or perhaps I am saying. So the subject of this, I think, is the same as up here. It's this love for the one who has died has destroyed me, and even more than I can say. Herakles replies, Gunaikos est les emplaces tis antere. This verb here is often used equivalent to hamatano, to lose someone. So you have lost a noble wife. Tis ant ere. Who would speak against that? So who would deny it? Who would contradict it? Hostiand. So, and Admetos says Hostiandra tondi maketh hedes thy bio. We get a hosti plus infinitive, so that this man, that is himself, no longer hedesthai from hedamai, to get pleasure, so has any pleasure bio in life. So with the result that this man, that is I, no longer have any pleasure in life. Chronos malaxe, sun death hebaske kakon. Time, this is from malasso, which means to soften. The adjective malakos means soft, so chronos, time will soften, but now, this is eti, and then the subject here I think is kakon. The evil or the trouble is still, we get this funny verb here, perhaps we say is still fresh. The verb is hebaske. This verb is very rare. It's kind of formed perhaps by an analogy with geiraski, to grow old, and this is simply means to be still young, to be in its prime. So time will soften, but now this terrible situation, this evil, this pain is still in its prime. Chronon legoisan e chronos tok kapthenein. Well, he says you would speak of chronos, so something like you may well speak of time, e chronos, if time is death. That is, death alone can get rid of his grief. So you may well speak of time if by time you mean death. Gune se pause kai neu gamu pothoi, says Herakles. A wife, pause, well, will put an end to, power is to check, so will check you in respect of your grief, understood. So a wife will put an end to your grief, understood, and pothoi, desires for a new marriage. Sigeson hoyon epas uk an oyomen. Imperative here from Sigao, be silent, such a thing you have said. I would not dream of it, I would not think of it. Herakles said, Tide u gameska ala keruse lekos. What then? For will you not marry? This looks like it's a present form, but it's often used in that future sense here, so I think it is meant to be you will not marry. The verb is gameo. So I think in English we have to just take it as translated as a future. For you will not marry, but you will make your bed a widow. A kera is a widow in Greek, so you will make widowed your lekos, your bed. Eukesti hatis todi sung clithesetai. There is no one who will lie beside, or will lie with, Todi, this man, i.e. himself. So no woman will lie beside this man. Mon ten thanusan o philain ti prostokas. Now mon, of course, from may un, introducing a question, expecting the answer no. So prostokao is to expect. So surely you don't expect to do advantage in any way to the one who has died. So surely you don't expect that you are doing the dead some favour, that this is of any use to the one who has died. Kanen thupe esti timas thy crown. She, now hopupe esti, wherever she is, which is interesting way of words from Admetos. So she, wherever she is, it is necessary to honour, it is necessary to honour her wherever she is. So Canaan's the object of the infinitive here. So it being necessary to honour her wherever she is. This is a little set phrase. The esti doesn't go with the crayon. It's a little sub-clause here, wherever she is. I know min I know, morian dofliskanes. Well, I praise, you've got a nice men and de here. I praise you, from Einio. But ofliskano is to incur. So, but you are incurring morian, well, stupidity. So perhaps you are incurring the accusation of morian, of stupidity. You risk being called a moros, a fool. Admetos replies, hos me potandra tondi numphion kalon. Now this line, you'll need to look at the commentaries here. I think this is a difficult line. I think one interpretation is that we're meant to understand the I know from the previous line, but changing the person, something like, you are praising me as never calling this man numphion, a bridegroom. So you praise me because you will never call this man a bridegroom. And again, it's a difficult line. There are various interpretations here. You'll need to have a look at the commentaries on this one. Herakles says, Epenes aloke pistos hunek a philos. I praise you, hunek for haughty. That's quite common in tragedy. Hunek for haughty. So I praise you because you are a philos pistos, a faithful friend, aloko, to your wife. Danoi mekanon kai per uk usin produce. Now we get an octative here of wish. So I would die, produce from prodidomi, to betray, literally hand over and hence betray. A prodotes is a traitor. So from prodidomi. So I would die having betrayed Ekanan, that woman. Now the kai per uk usan goes together, although she does not exist, although she's no longer in existence. So although she's dead. So I would rather die than betray her, even though she's no longer alive, is the paraphrase of it. Decu nun esotendi genaion domun. Again, we get this weakened form of nun. It's enclitic, hence no accent on it. Receive then inside the... Sorry, yes, receive then within, inside, this woman of noble houses. So she's a woman of nobility. She's from noble house. Plural for singular. Me prosetu sperantos antemai dios. So no, antemai, I beseech. So I beseech you by Zeus, the one literally who sowed you. So, so by Zeus, who was your father. They often use this spero of sowing to be the for the father of a person. So no, I beseech you by your father, or by Zeus, the one who begat you, you could say in English. Kaimen hamatese ge medrasas tadi. And indeed, not doing this, now the get is important here, something like in fact. So in fact, not doing this, you are indeed sinning, you are making a big mistake. So by not doing this, you are in fact making a big mistake. Kai dron gelupe kardion dekthesamai. Now this verb here, it's a future passive, It's from dacno with a kappa. Dacno is to bite. This is the future passive. It's irregular here. The alpha, the root is dac, and the alpha lengthens, and then the kappa aspirates before the theta, but it is from dacno. So by doing it, in fact, I will bite my heart with grief. So even though it's passive here, I think it's meant to be, well, I will be bitten, I suppose is probably better Greek here. Doing this, in fact, I will be bitten, and take this as an internal accusative, in respect of my heart, lupe with grief. And that's the next little section up to 110. We'll continue the Sticomythia in the next recording.